That is run one done for our championship leaders here. Let's get a little bit of a scope on how Elfyn is feeling right now. I think Jenny, it's kind of hard to imagine how all three of them are feeling. Sebastian Ogier, Kalle Rovanperä, they have championships under their belt. Elfyn doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think he might be the calmest of the three.
Yeah, he's been there before, he's done it. Elfyn's got such a cool, calm head on him. It takes a lot to rattle that boy.
Yeah, it really does. We'll be hearing from him shortly. Let's cross out to Molly at the stop control.
Elfyn, it all comes down to this championship deciding event, a brand new place. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough weekend ahead. I think I'm sure everybody's mentioned that already in the lead up to the event, but yeah, definitely going to be tough, and we have to just do what we can.
There's not going to be a huge amount of margin for error. You can see how much rocks are at the side of the road here. We just saw Seb a little bit wide with the back end of the car. Hunting for title number 9, which would put him on par, of course, with Sebastian Loeb, and become only the second driver to have that amount. Good to see the Toyotas back in their silver summer livery.
See already, Bex, how the slower corners where the car's got a bit of lateral movement on, where it's already starting to rut up, sort of that slow right-hander that Seb was just coming out of. Get all that weight digging into the sand, and of course you're churning the ground up with the tyres as they're putting the power down. It just churns the ground up, you get these ruts, so already we're getting a bit of an indication as to how the road is changing.
3:06.4 then, it is quicker by 1.9 seconds over Elfyn Evans. Sunglasses on for Seb.
Yeah, there's lots of different things we'll see this weekend. I mean, you saw very briefly, and hopefully you'll see it over the rest of the weekend, Vincent Londet running a Dakar-style cooling system in his helmet. Seb using the sunglasses. It is incredibly hot out there. It's not just the colour of the car that's changed.
It's one final showdown this week in Saudi Arabia. What do you make of this place, and what do you think we can expect over the next couple of days?
Expect the unexpected, probably. I mean, it's not really the place we would like to fight the final, but at the end of the day, we need to make the best with what we can control. There will be many parameters we can't control this weekend, but hopefully, yeah, the plan is to stay out of trouble, and we'll see.
Is there a stage or a day that you'd like to pinpoint as particularly challenging?
All of them. All of them. Saturday have the longest section with the most rough, but already on Friday there is also, it's never going to be easy.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right there. There is no easy element here. It is all a massive challenge. Kalle Rovanperä, Jone Halttunen, this is then the last dance for them. There's a special helmet to commemorate the last WRC event for them this weekend. And of course, what are their options in terms of the title battle? 24 points behind. They have to just throw everything at this, Jenny.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more strategy between Ogier and Elfyn, isn't there, with Kalle and Jone. It just, now's the time to get that car to breaking point. This is like a little mini Le Mans for them, isn't it? You want it to break right at the end, the final finish board, and just drive every single washer off the thing all weekend and see what they can end up with. That's it. That's all they can do, really, isn't it? So enjoy the last rally for them, for now at least.
Yep.
And yeah, go out with a, not a literal bang, but go out with a bang, you know what I mean?
Let's wait to hear from Kalle, and we'll chat about Oitanak.
The big divot right on the apex of that corner
Special
there.
week ahead for you here in Saudi Arabia. What do you make of this place? Can you compare it to anything you've seen before?
Yeah, some sectors we have seen before, but also many new places. Obviously, it's going to be a really tough weekend for the cars, for the drivers and tires, everything. It's going to be really rough. So, yeah, it's going to be emotional weekend for us, but we just try to have fun. Obviously, we try to let's say have the best final result we can. So yeah, we will go for the win, and we will do everything we can to have a good weekend.
Yeah, nice words there from Kalle Rovanperä. Another man who is on his last outing is Ott Tänak, who announced a sabbatical at the end of Rally Japan. Was, of course, in title contention up until we came to Central European Rally and Rally Japan, and then just difficult events, certainly in Japan. Put him on the back foot, but for Ott Tänak and for everyone now starting to run, it's going to be interesting to see if there is a sweet spot within cleaning this stage, or if it just comes down to the very last car on the roads.
Yeah, excuse me, there will be places where it'll clean up Bex and it'll get quick, and there's other places where it'll start to rut up. We've seen that in the States, so there'll be places where it'll get slower, and there's other places where it's the grip levels are definitely going to come up, but for sure, Kalle Rovanperä going nearly 4 seconds quicker than Elvin. It's a big, I mean, that's a big chunk of time over 4.5 kilometers, but again, it's only Shakedown. There's a long, long way to go.
I know there's a job to be done here in Saudi Arabia, the last event of the year, but it's also a last event for you. Is there a little bit of emotion coming into this weekend or week?
No, I don't think so. No emotion.
Can you tell me a bit about the last days here in Saudi from the recce? What are your impressions?
Yeah, it's for sure incredibly demanding. Lots of surprises, so yeah, need to be prepared for everything, for example.
What kind of surprises?
If you look around, mostly rocks.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those, isn't there?
He's a big loss to this championship. It's just, I love how you use the word sabbatical, Bex. Because we've got to find a way to get Ott Tänak back into a car.
I'm sure he will be back. He won't be able to stand it. I don't think, being out of it all.
He's too quick. He is, you know, and I think for us, he's great value on the television. What's the emotion like? No emotion, mate. No emotion, Molly, it's all good. You know, he's brilliant, and yeah, I know that it's the right time for him to go and spend some time with his family and everything else, so we wish him all the best with that, but I'd like to see Ott Tänak and Kalle Rovanperä at some point back in the World Rally Championship.
Now, let's talk about this pair then. They are the reigning champions up until Saturday. From 2024, of course, this has not been, unfortunately, the year they would have wanted, but they have one final chance to try and get a win on the board this season. Thierry Neuville and Martijn Vidal complete Shakedown run 1. There is a remote Shakedown service area just above where the stop control is. So they're very quickly up there and back into the stage. The Shakedown area around about 30-40 minutes north of where we are in Jeddah, where the service park is based.
Short in right, 50, off and off, okay, and in right through.
Thierry, a final chance to get on the top step of the podium, a brand new event. Do you have the package this weekend?
I don't know, we're going to find out. I think we have a good car in those conditions. Nevertheless, it will be a combination of good speed and good management this weekend, so, and a bit of luck as well, because already a lot of stones on the road, so that will be something this weekend, but yeah, we go for it and try to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's all he can do, isn't it? Is absolutely go for it.
You used the word luck, and I would agree with that. There are elements of this weekend that's going to be a complete lottery bet, so you're just rolling the dice, and there are some stages where there's such a high risk of picking up damage or picking up a puncture or something like that, and in a heartbeat it can all go horribly wrong for you. So there's a lot of gambling to be done this weekend, I think, and I think Thierry's described that really nicely. If we go back to the onboard, you can just see the top of Taka's helmet there. There's a pipe that's running down onto the top of his helmet, and that's just venting air into his lid to try and just cool him down a little bit. Taka with a 3:06.1.
Just 1.5 seconds behind Robin Perez's time then, which is still the fastest here. If you are just joining us, welcome to the final event of the year. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. And this is the title deciding weekend. We will find out who will be our champion for 2025 at the end of this one. Adrian Fourmeau earlier this week. We'll come back to that point. Let's hear from Taka first.
Taka, something completely new. What do you make of this place?
Yeah, we discovered that new country, new stage. Super sleepy. Yeah, I expected a bit better grip, but yeah, it's super sleepy. So going to be big strategy, of course. Heat's going to be, you know, not easy for drivers and co-drivers. So yeah, we try our best to bring best result for sure, but it's going to be a long weekend.
It's not just the drivers and co-drivers, it's the cars as well, Bex. You know, we're rallying in temperatures, ambient temperatures of over 35 degrees out in the desert. So, you know, all the temps are up in the car as well. The engine temps up, all the fluid temperatures up, you know, and it's not just within the engine, it's the dampers and everything else. So really, really hard on the cars this rally.
Yeah, as well as the fact that it's not very mechanically sympathetic. All that heat is, like you say, it's just such a massive combination of factors this weekend. Adrian Fourmeau described after he'd done partial recce that it was kind of giving him a mixture of Kenya and Greece vibes out there, but obviously you can see it's very uniquely Saudi Arabian. But if you were, and we do sometimes force the drivers to give us some comparisons to other rallies, that's what he was picking out.
We'll see a lot of this throughout the weekend, really fast, and some really wide sections as well, where it's just left, right, and it's about picking the fastest line through.
Time for Adrian Fourmeau then, 3:06.2. That is fourth fastest on run one of Shakedown. Huge week ahead of us. We start, of course, this evening with the opening super special stage. Sami Kyrie, Marco Salmon, and fresh off the podium in last event.
It's quite hot out here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite warm for sure. But you know, my body is a bit searching a bit the reference, because I left home, it was snowing, and then you arrive here, it's really warm. So we do rally in winter or in the south of the earth, and then in the winter in the north we go in the south. Anyway, it's quite funny, but it's a good challenge for us ahead of this weekend, and I think we're gonna have to be smart in some places to make sure that we don't damage the car, play with the fan, make sure we don't get too many punctures. I think we're gonna have our trouble. I think everybody, so we're gonna play with it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. You know, they are going to have to. It is going to be a clever driver this weekend who really does optimize wherever they are on the road. You have to be smart here. You mentioned there's some really fast sections in here, but it's not going to be all about speed.
No, and I think as well, when you're coming through at recce speed as well, Bex, it's really difficult to judge what you can get away with in terms of really pushing the limits of the car. So we've seen some of those compressions. It's not until you hit them at full speed in the rally car that you work out what you can get away with. It's very easy to, you know, when you're driving through at road speed in the recce car, you lose the distance and how much you can really push the rally car through it. And when you turn up in the car and you're flat out and you come off the compression and straight into another one, it causes a huge amount of mechanical stress, and that's very difficult to write that speed into the notes. So there's going to be a lot of that this weekend of what you can get away with in terms of really pushing the car to the limit.
Let's switch out to M Sport 4, join Greg Munster, Louis Luca.
50 mètres. Oui. Droite 20 pour cuvette. Et attention, frein poste pour bump sur droite, petite patate.
Sammy, it's quite the contrast to the previous event, isn't it? What can you tell us about the days of recce? Can you compare this event to anything you've seen before?
So we didn't really hear, but yeah, it's really different to last few rallies. I've been recently enjoying the tarmac quite a lot now, so it's really different now. Will be really interesting to see how the road is evolving. Already now it's starting to be quite soft in some places, so I don't know, is it getting better or worse for the cars in behind, but okay, we are all learning this weekend.
Yeah, that's a really strong point, you know, for everybody here this weekend.
Saw that front right take a big hit in a rut there, Bex. And as I said, there are places where it's getting softer. There's other places where it's quite hard and it is cleaning, but for sure there's places where it's getting softer and it's rutting up. You just saw that where Gregoire Munster just buried that front right into the road and it stopped the car. Again, that just puts instant stress on all the suspension components, obviously on the tyre as well. You can see as well, I mean, visibly from the onboard and from the heli that Gregoire really wasn't pushing through the compressions. He was nowhere near as committed as the guys in the Toyota and the Hyundai. That's reflected in the time.
Yeah, it's a 3:18 on the board, 3:18.1. Let's just take a look at that again.
Look at this front right, it just buries. There you go, bang, and it's braked the car and it's instantly swapped ends on him. Just got to be so careful. And that's what we can expect from this weekend. So there'll be places for sure, if you're running towards the back, where you'll have an advantage, but it will also prove to be a disadvantage in other areas as well.
Greg, Saudi Arabia, it's quite the place, isn't it? What do you make of it so far?
Yeah, I mean, for Ricky, there's a bit of everything. I think it's going to be very rough. Here already you have some rocks pulled out, so yeah, I think the strategy is to be smart.
Has there been some good advice from NASA?
Yeah, he says in open desert to look at some, how do you say, visual marks so that you know where you're heading to. But honestly, they've done it quite well with some beach flags and so on, so yeah, I think it's going to be a nice event.
We'll talk a little bit more about their teammate for this weekend, Nasser Al-Attiyah, when we see him on screen, but let's chat about Josh McAlee and Owen Tracy now. It's an early bath from them in Japan. And now they face a completely different challenge here.
Yeah, another box ticked in the learning process, isn't it, after what was, as you said, a really difficult outing in Japan, Bex. But I think this weekend presents them with a good opportunity, and he goes comfortably quicker than Gregoire Munster. And that's a little bit better. It's interesting what Gregoire was saying, as you pick a point, it's very easy to get
reference points,
like desert blindness, if you like, because all the colours are the same, similar to what we see in Sweden, you know, when we see the drivers wearing the yellow lenses to try and pick out the road, and that's what NASA will have been telling Gregoire, is that you've got to pick a point and head for that. It's very easy to get disorientated.
Fantastic to see Martin Sesks back with us on the final round as well. Firm fan favourite.
Josh, a brand new event, quite unlike anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be something else for sure. It's nice to be here, but it's a big credit to the whole team for the big job after Japan. A lot of people spent time on the road and fixing the car, so it's a huge credit to them. So let's try and make it a good weekend.
Can you highlight something particular across the week and the stages, the days?
I've seen camels the first time ever.
What do you think of them then?
It's something different. So yeah, it's going to be an unbelievable event. There's going to be a lot of attrition, and yeah, it's just trying to stay out of trouble, but push hard at the same time. So let's see.
Well, what a balance that is. Stay out of trouble, but push at the same time. He makes a very valid point there, because after Japan there was some question marks whether that car would actually be fixed, Jenny.
Yeah.
It's been a big job by the team to get that ready for this event.
They were always going to get it fixed. They'd never not get it fixed, those guys. They're too good, but you're right. And I think it's credit to Josh as well for saying thank you to them, because yeah, 100% they put in a hell of a shift to get that car straight again. It wasn't just a case of bolting new panels on it, it was well bent, and they did a good job to get that car back out.
Great time then on the board from Cesc, just 2.8 seconds adrift of Rovanpera's fastest time. And like I said, great to see him back on the final round. He was when we saw him on the summer outing, hoping that Saudi would be in play for him, and it is. And for this man, we'll all be looking to see Nasser Al-Attiyah and his performance this weekend. Let's hear from Martins.
Martins, welcome back. It's been a while, and first pass of Shakedown, you're the quickest M Sport Ford, so well done.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were taking it really steady because I haven't been in the car since Finland, which is how many months? Right. Yeah, quite much. So, yeah, now this morning when we came to sit in the car, it was like, oh wow, what these buttons do.
How have you been preparing for this event?
How can you prepare for an event you've never been to? But no, for us this year, most of the events were new. So yeah, this is something completely different. So let's see how it goes. But like the first taste wasn't bad. It's going to be pretty interesting.
There we go, that's Martin Cesc. How fantastic it is to see Nasser Al-Attiyah part of a WRC event for the first time in 10 years. His last event was Spain in 2015. He is a 20-time Middle Eastern champion, 5-time Dakar winner, and won this event earlier this year. The experience level of this man in these conditions, Jenny, you want him to be part of your team. M Sport pulled a blinder here, having him on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Nasser knows what he's doing in these conditions, and you know, there's no question having the experience of the landscape and the ground and the area, of course, helps massively. Unfortunately, what he doesn't have is experience of the car so much.
Yeah.
And again, knowing what you can get away with, how hard you can push the car, how much you can really lean on it without breaking it. And that's going to be potentially a shortfall this weekend. But for sure, he is the most experienced driver here in terms of rallying in these conditions.
In the terrain,
and
yeah.
a great character as well. So yeah, good to have Nasser Al-Attiyah knocking about. As you said, 5 times Dakar champion.
Really delighted to see him back as part of the championship. Let's hear from him.
Nasser, wow, welcome back to the WRC.
It's amazing, you know, first time I drove this car in the gravel, it's so amazing, you know, I have a lot of fun, you know, in first lap in 5K, yes, I am really so happy to compete in this race.
And it's also the same time as Martins on Shakedown now.
Oh, it's not bad, huh? For first time, it's good, huh? I will try to do my best.
So maybe a podium this weekend?
I don't know, I wish, huh? This will be my dream, you know? Cross finger.
It could happen, Bex.
Do you know what?
Honestly,
It could happen.
happen.
It could happen. It could happen. He was never on the podium in WRC. 4th was his best ever result. But I am not ruling him out of a podium spot this weekend. Great to have him back. Like I said, always enjoyed interviewing Nasser over the years. A complete character. Now, since Japan then, the announcement finally came in that we'd all been talking about, that was rumoured for such a long time. Oliver Solberg will step up next year with Toyota into Rally 1. What a season Oliver and Elliott have had together. It's been a little bit like a dream, like a movie script almost. Winning the championship in WRC2, winning a WRC event in Estonia, and now knowing that their careers moving on have stepped up to the mark.
Yeah, it sounds really silly saying this, considering everything that Oliver's achieved, but for me, his career starts at the start of 2026, which again sounds daft because he's a WRC2 champion. He's achieved so much already, but I say that because I just think this is Oliver just getting going.
Yeah.
Really, you know, he's so naturally quick. You've got to protect him. He needs to be looked after. But when Oliver's in the right mindset, he's terrifyingly fast, and I think it's an incredible signing from Toyota. And a future world champion for sure in Oliver Solberg.
Oliver, a completely new adventure to finish off the season. How would you describe the stages out there?
Oh, yeah, this is an incredible challenge. I think it's going to be something extremely unique, something very different, and
it's going to be a big challenge for everybody. But hey, you know, it's cool to try something new. I mean, it's not like a typical rally, but at least we're going to try a bit of Dakar, you know. I don't have to wait till I'm 60. But a lot of big rocks in the middle of the road already in the junctions and stuff, so you need to be quite careful. But yeah, it's not easy.
Have you been asking somebody you know from the Dakar about any advice? Or?
Well, I was asking Yassine a little bit last night just to see about it and so on, but it looks like it's going to be this shakedown is quite smooth. It's smooth and nice compared to the rest of the rally.
That's quite telling, isn't it, Bex? Also, doesn't have to wait till he's 60. Everyone who's competing in the Dakar just took their shoe off and launched it at the telly.
I'm not surprised.
Cheeky dog, 60.
Wow. Okay, Nikolai Grai is in now then, and we're watching this weekend to see who will take away the Challenger Championship for drivers in WRC2. Nikolai Grai is in 4 points ahead of Rupa Korhonen. Good run from Nikolai there, 3:14.2.
There's going to be some stages where these cars are really going to struggle, Bex. We've seen it in Kenya, you know, where the first few cars come through, it really churns everything up. It gets very soft, and as more cars come in, we saw them getting stuck.
Yes,
you know,
Oliver
yeah.
in the Feshfetch.
And we're not going to. I don't think we're going to see cars getting stuck, but we're going to definitely see them. You know, it's going to cost them time being in the super soft sand, and it's going to be hard on these guys
Nikolai,
for sure.
Saudi Arabia, what do you think of it so far?
It's already a lot of stones on the road, so I have to drive not on the line, just avoid many stones. So I think it's something which will be on the race for sure. So you need to be smart, not to push and without the brain, so be more smart.
You saw them there right on the apex of that corner, and Rupa had already committed, so he had no choice other than to hit them, but suddenly there were 3 big rocks right in the middle of the road, and he'd already picked his turning point. He couldn't avoid them at that stage, so that's something we're going to have to keep an eye out over the weekend as more and more rocks get pulled out, and that potentially, Bex, will be a bit of an advantage for Elfyn Evans. You know, he's not got those rocks that are being pulled out with every single car that passes.
On the first day, at least.
On the first day, and yeah, I mean, look, he's got to make the first day count as well, hasn't he, for sure. And if he does make the first day count, then he'll have the rocks on Friday and Saturday, so...
Can't win, Chenia.
No, you can't.
There are the red boards for Korhonen, and then just shy of the time of Grai is in by 0.7 of a second. 3:14.9.
We've seen this stage evolve already, Bex.
Very much so.
Quite a bit, you know.
And this is car 15 on the road.
Yeah.
And look how much it's changed from the first few that we saw. The amount of rocks that have been pulled out is huge.
Yeah, from when Elfyn was first in, there's obviously been, as you said, a vast amount of rocks put out, but also the way it's dug up in places as well. We've seen compressions opening up a little bit more, and on the apex of corners, we've seen divots starting to appear where they're hooking that front right or front left into a corner, and that's digging away at the ground. It's been a good learning experience, not just for the drivers, but for us as well.
Rupa, good to see you back from last WRC2 event in Finland to Saudi Arabia. That's quite the contrast.
Yeah, really nice to be here. Big thanks all my sponsors and Rautio take this possible, do it possible. So yeah, let's see. After Reke, stages looks quite rough, so it can be quite challenging, but we'll see.
The word challenge is going to be used a huge amount this weekend. Let's take a look then at the classification for run 1 of Shakedown, with Rovanperä taking the top time of 3:04.6. Neuville was 1.1 seconds behind that. Then Taka Katsuta. Mo and Tanak both 1.6 off the pace. Then Ogier, Pyrie, Sesks, Alatia, and then Evans, who was first on the road, 10th fastest through. It is just run 1 of Shakedown out there, remember. So the Drivers' Championship as we go into the final round. Elfyn Evans has a 3-point advantage over Sebastian Ogier, with Kalle Rovanperä then 24 points behind. And it all comes down to this weekend. We will crown a champion here in Saudi Arabia. Which one of the three will it be? So, a huge weekend, 17 stages. We kick off, of course, this evening with the ceremonial start and the opening stage. Make sure you are with us for a whole weekend here at the final round in Saudi Arabia.